Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been happening in my life, and just trying to figure out my life basically by reflecting on it almost every day. I can just take out the thoughts from my head and I just can express them because that way they're not stuck in this little head of mine. In today's video, I just want to talk about this idea that I've been thinking about a lot, which is like, how do you call it? It's how do you call that? Basically, like something that has two faces, like one good and one bad. So I don't know, is it the irony or no? It's not the irony because it's not funny or like not anything like that, and it's not anything bad also. It's just the trying to find the word paradox. That's the word that I was looking for. But basically, I've been thinking about this a lot. Is that on the days that I feel most excited about my potential, those are also the days where I feel like where eventually I end up feeling like super terrible because basically some part of me refuses to believe in that potential and like keeps questioning myself, and like there's this self-sabotage instinct that kicks in, and basically when things are going well, some part of me will make me go back to some self-destructive behaviors that basically uh, you know in some sense prevent me from realizing that potential because I know I have so much potential. Sometimes I just get so excited about my potential, and then a few hours later, I feel like shit because basically from the high comes the low. We're basically from the high of the possibilities of what could happen. I basically like start engaging in some self-sabotaging behavior because I guess my identity has not evolved yet to accept my potential and like truly believe in it. And so there is this pull from my past and from the person that I've been and the, I don't know, not ideal behaviors that like basically procrastination, not eating right, and other things that kick in whenever I feel like I'm making a bit of progress. And it's basically this back and forth, and it's like really exhausting uh, because I can feel that my potential is like right there, that it's up for grabs so long as I execute on it or so long as I follow through. And then, like, I don't know, I just get, I don't know, it's like some sort of automatic reaction to seeing the potential that's right out there that makes me basically like somewhat self-sabotage. I mean, I don't know. I go on a like YouTube binge instead of completing the tasks that I was on my way to complete, and I go on a terrible food binge when I've been consistent with eating uh, well consistently and all of that stuff, and then it's like, oh, I just undid the work of eating well and all of that stuff. So it's this dance between the potential version of myself and the current version of myself, which is not quite there yet, and uh, which has like some sort of immune reaction to this future version of myself that has achieved her potential. And I think this has been a pretty consistent pattern in my past, which I'm trying to figure out how to overcome, because basically in the span of one day I could be so excited about all of the stuff that I'm doing and the fact that I'm putting in the right inputs, and then later in that day I just feel like terrible because maybe the road feels so long, And also, like, it's also there is this question of why am I doing all this? Like, what's the ultimate goal here? And in some sense, it's like, I think it's still tied to that idea of having, like, finding a partner. Like, I don't know, I have this thing in my head where it's like if I have a partner, like maybe I wouldn't feel so, I don't know, like basically the paradox of like success allowing me to find a partner, that basically when you get successful, um, you start to wonder whether whether the people who like you for who you actually are. So that includes the insecure part of yourself, or if they like you for this externally successful version of yourself. Uh, and it's a bit of the paradox of basically being liked. Um, is that, I mean, because like for me, I try not to be to not show every aspect of my life to people around me. Try to just show them the positive things. It's like that makes them basically like me more. Uh, but for me, um, I just feel like they don't like me for who I really am. So that includes the very nuanced person that I am, with lots of ups and downs, that's not always happy, that struggles with lots of existential stuff, um, that cries a lot, um, and that is super sensitive and has lots of things going on, lots of insecurities, lots of moments where basically I don't feel as good, but basically for the sake of, I don't know, I really don't know, but like, yeah, I guess I'm trying to be the best person that I can be towards people. And in some sense, it does reflect back into my life. Like, if I'm able to serve people and like make them happy, it also makes me happy. Uh, but then I wonder, like, do these people only like me because they they see this happy version of me, but they don't also like they don't see the other version of me, which is also part of my life and it's inevitable and it's there and there's no getting it out of my life. That's a bit, not perfect, that struggles with lots of things, and that's trying to basically just maybe get through the day and try not to be as hard on herself and all of that stuff. I mean, it's weird to talk about myself in the third person, but that's. I mean, I guess I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about a version of myself, which yeah, there are different versions of me, and I think it's the same for everyone. And does not mean that I'm being any less genuine uh, when I'm at a different version of myself. It just means that, like all people, I think we are different based on different circumstances, and that's okay because, like, it's okay to be different, like to have different sorts of personalities, reactions. I mean, I'm making this sound like I'm a schizophrenic person, or I don't know. Is it schizophrenic, or maybe it's like a personality disorder thing? But it's not. Like, it's just a social thing where you are a different person. Basically, the person that you are is shaped by your environment, and so like trying to be the same person in all environments is like a bit unreasonable because it does not work. And this is just due to the fact that we are humans and we're adaptable, and most of the time we adapt to the different situations that we're in. But anyway, just to go back to my point, is it's like on the same around like in around the same period that I have some really high highs, I also have some really low lows, and I think people only see the highs for me, like people around me, because I spend most of my time alone and they don't get to see this whole fluctuation in my mood and energy. And basically, they just see the highlight reel, which makes it, I don't know, which I guess is a bit less, like, I guess maybe makes them view me in a different light and makes them think that I don't get hurt, or that no matter what happens, I will always be smiling and happy. But obviously, as you've seen on this channel, I go through lots of ups and downs, and I think that's just probably part of the human condition. And I guess I've just been documenting it to, be able to reflect on that part. But I don't know. It's just this self-sabotaging thing that I'm trying to get over, or basically minimize the blast radius in some sense of the self-sabotaging behavior that's, you know, bound to happen, because it goes in cycles. I think that's what I've noticed in my life. Some days are better than others, and it's okay. It's completely okay. And I guess maybe just figure out maybe a way to. I mean, I guess it's good to have high highs and low lows, but the low lows really hurt. So maybe not having as high highs could help, but I guess that's like, why are we even living this life if we don't get to experience the high highs and the low lows? But I guess just to go back to this question that I was asking myself, which is like, okay, I know that some part of me started this whole thing in this ridiculous search for a partner, and getting famous to find a partner, or like, it's kind of stupid and embarrassing, but anyway, that's part of it. But I know that there's another part of it that I genuinely connect with, and it's this desire to connect with people. And basically, like, I think that's something that drives me a lot. uh, is this desire for connection, because I've always struggled with it. And it's just something that, like, it's a bit like a problem that I'm solving. It's like the same way that when you're solving a mathematical problem, there's a just right solution. And I guess this, like, connecting with people, there is a just right amount for things. And throughout my life, I've oscillated between high and low amounts of certain behaviors and actions. And I mean, I've struggled a lot growing up with connecting with people and trying to have healthy relationships. But I guess now I'm a bit better than that at that, because I've basically learned how to like, maybe read people better, so that I can maybe adjust my behavior better. Like, basically, I've improved my measurement of what's happening in my environment. I've improved my clarity of, you know, assessing the environment that I'm in. And basically, that makes me slightly better, like slightly better, hopefully a lot better than I used to be at connecting with people. And it's truly magical when there's just this just right amount of things, of connection with other people that I've learned to appreciate and basically recognize in the moment. Because that's the hardest part, is that when something good is happening, the tendency is to minimize it in the moment. But I guess I'm learning basically to recognize it as it's happening, because that way I can enjoy it more and take advantage of the moment. And that's something that I've been working on a lot. And yeah, just appreciating the moment, and basically realizing that, like, not taking some small moments for granted, and like realizing, okay, this is it. This is what happiness feels like. This is what being happy feels like. And just adjusting my expectation on that, and like basically being able to recognize it as fast as possible so that I can make the most out of it, and that I can basically express it to the people around me, and like I don't know. I think I'm rambling here, but that's something that I've been like. I think I've gotten a lot better at. I think over the past three years, I've been working on that part a lot, and I think that has improved the quality of my relationships. And yeah, it's been super helpful. I think I still have some work there, like basically, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, like recognizing when someone is like someone that I like is also into me, or if they don't like me, also recognizing that and not being blinded by confirmation bias. And yeah, just to trying to stay in the moment and assess the situation for what it truly is, and basically act accordingly. That's something that I've been um, working on a lot. I mean, working on. I have not been doing it explicitly, but I've been paying attention to it a lot when interacting with people. It's just something that I think is super interesting, and that I do kind of as a default, where I'm just trying to be as in the moment as possible, and like listening to what's happening around me, and like trying to interpret to the best of my ability, and basically closing the gap between what I perceive to be the situation and what the objective reality is. And yeah, it's been quite a journey, but I don't know how we got to this point in the conversation, but I think it started around self-sabotaging behavior. I think that's still something that I need to work on, that I'm trying to overcome. But I think the best way to overcome it is through bias for action. So yeah, I think that's just something that I need to keep working at and not get discouraged. And I think something that helped me out today is basically listening to One Republic, because this band or like these musicians, they bring out this joyful version of me that goes back to high school. I remember there was this one trip where we were traveling with my parents to Marrakesh, and I was just listening to their album Native on a loop, and it's like one of the most beautiful albums, one of my favorite albums of all time, because it's just genuinely so dreamy, and like basically it was just perfect because I was on the road for a long time, and then I was daydreaming while listening to this album and looking out the window, and it was absolutely gorgeous outside. And this is just a memory that I remember quite distinctly from my last year in Morocco, that I'm quite fond of, and that basically listening to music by One Republic always takes me back to that moment of possibility, of dreams, and just hope. And yeah, I'm super grateful for their songs. That's the kind of mood that I want to have in my life more often. And it's not something that I can just access through the songs. Like obviously, the song effect, like for this to be effective, like listening to the songs, I think it needs to be spaced out enough that I get to appreciate the music, and like listen to the music from a new light where it gets to really hit. And yeah, it's just something that I'm working on, but that's the feeling that I'm chasing, this feeling of hope and and possibility and joy that I'm looking for in this life. So yeah, just that's one thing that I've been thinking about. So anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in and listening to my long monologues and reflections. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, and you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. So thanks a lot for tuning in today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye.